Welcome to the first official Oasis vlog. Today we're going to recap pretty much the barber event, what we did, how we got here. The whole Oasis squad is here. Can't wait for you guys to watch this video. It's been an amazing experience, an amazing journey. Stick around, check it out. Did I ever tell you the time when at my house I was filling up my water jug and I go upstairs to check up on Amaya and she's in the bath. I end up playing with her for like 10 minutes and then out of nowhere I'm like literally like hugging her, holding her, like ready to like put her to bed, and then out of nowhere I just realized I'm like, holy fuck, I forgot I was filling up my water bottle. I go downstairs, my whole kitchen flooded. I spent like 15 minutes upstairs with her, bro. I went downstairs and I just was like, I've never ran so fast in my life though, because as soon as I figured out like the water, bro, you know my stairs, I literally just fucking jumped like 5 and then went to 2. Oh man. Every towel in my house was soaked. To be a good boy.
Come check us out at Las Vegas.
We're finally here in Las Vegas. 2024 LV Barber Expo. Can't wait to see you guys tomorrow. We're about to head to the all-white pre-party. Let's go.
What's the deal?
We're gonna have a good time. You already know. Some connections, network.
Fuck, hold on. Come back to me. I'm trying to find my ticket.
Good, fam. How you been? Good, bro.
Read this real fast. It makes me more excited. It feeds me to want to do what I do more.
Yeah, it's actually ridiculous. Can't even keep my eyes open.
We are here at the gym getting a quick little pre-show pumping. You know, gotta make sure you get some good blood flow.
Money tucked inside the safe. If you ask me what I want, what you brought me in the case. Dodging ops, getting guap, get the fuck up out my way. I'm forever on the race till they catch me in the chase. Get the fuck up out my face. Money tucked inside the safe. If you ask me what I want, what you brought me in the case. Dodging ops, getting guap, get the fuck up out my way. I'm forever on the race.
Motion comes from motion. Yesterday's like sluggishness, like I'm starting to feel it right now. Like my body's like, it's like a new body.
If you go out, get a little faded the night before, come work out the next morning, you'll be good.
Just want to find food. I want to go chill by that pool. And I'm going to go sweat my sports bet downstairs. That's all I want to do. What about the expo? Oh, go to the expo too. Fuck. The whole reason I'm here.
Bro, I sleep till like 6.
Then we fell asleep at like 5. Javi was trying to put us on yesterday, and he was the first one to pass out. Honestly, it got kind of crazy. Oh shit, there he is right there. You were hella grabbing everyone yesterday.
I'm touchy like that, bro. Like, I feel like
You also have to understand how to be able to read like if someone else is cool with that. Social awareness, to be able to like see like, okay, what's the vibe of the other person, so you can match that. That shit is key though.
hell yeah. Don't put that in the video. Put that in the video.
It's a pleasure, guys, to be working out next to the guy ET.TheBarber, South Bay Chris, and Javi the Barber.
Javi the blackout. This is that social EQ.
You sure you can party?
Hey, 4 hours right there.
Say somebody take care of him, but look, hey, you know my homie that I told you.
It's okay.
It's your first time in Vegas, bro. It's okay.
I'm gonna learn from today.
Still do it again.
Like there's too many free drinks that like you just gotta say no. You have to say no. I mean you have to say yes. Yeah. You couldn't say no, so you had to say yes.
Do you remember trying to like introduce me to people in the bathroom?
Yeah.
But like right when you like walk into the bathroom, like the
Oh,
entrance.
because I met that fool. I don't know what's his name.
Exactly. You don't even know who it is. It's always important for me to get a good workout in, get some good food, hydrate up. Because whether you think it's work or not, cutting hair on stage takes a lot of mental capacity, takes a lot of energy, interacting with the crowd, obviously the haircuts themselves, and then everything along with customer service at the booth. You got to be on your shit. If you are not taking care of yourself, you won't be able to take care of others.
Hey, Sergio, place your bets right now, bro. Who's gonna win?
Eric.
Set, go.
I almost fucking tripped.
No, I feel like that was better than that.
I almost fell. Watch, we'll get the footage. It's okay.
Well, yeah, but this
No,
shit
you still got
hurts.
me though. But I wanted to see how close I was.
That was bad, bro.
Hell yeah.
Oh, bro, that shit hurt. Don't do that. Wear shoes.
Yeah. I'm 0 for 2 against him, so trust me, I'm gonna keep challenging him until I beat him.
Those hands are ready to eat for
Shoes
everyone.
on, shoes off. He's quick. He's quick.
What's up, bro?
Come on,
Johan.
chill.
Johan, play.
Hey, you might have lost the race, but physically I lost it.
You know what? We can just call it even.
Nope.
Let's go get married.
No.
Mira.
Marco did this painting. You wanna buy it? Hit him up.
I'm so sorry.
Got an hour and a half to be able to do something. Shower, get ready. Head to Buffalo. I won $500 last time I was here in Vegas, like 2 weeks ago, off of that Buffalo machine. I put in $20. The lady was like, play Buffalo, play Buffalo. I was like, okay. So I played and I won $500. I feel excited. In the beginning, it was kind of like nerve-wracking because you don't know what to expect. Over the years, the biggest thing that I've realized is the more I can prepare myself, the less I have to worry about other people. Being better prepared helps me with my confidence actually on there because I know what I'm going to execute. I know my models ahead of time. It's not me scrounging around looking for someone, hoping that they have good hair and hoping I do a good haircut on them. Being able to like pick the right model, see pictures of their hair beforehand, maybe have cut it before, tool preparation, and then of course the confidence of being able to draw a crowd in. Because at the end of the day, I'm there to help the company move units. If I can't bring in a crowd, educate, and entertain all at the same time, why are they going to stay there when there's other clipper companies around that they could go and maybe get entertained by, maybe have some value, maybe get some sort of entertainment, whatever the case may be. So you kind of have to like put yourself in a little package while you're up there. So being prepared helps with all of that.
You gotta have your carbs, your protein, and we gotta get some veggies.
Eating good?
Like I was already in bed, right? Everyone was in bed except for Chris. So he like gets on the bed, he's like about to start like laying down, and he's like for like 15-20 seconds, John goes, are you okay? Like he was like, I've never heard anyone talk so much before they go to bed.
It's crazy because he would say that. He would sometimes say that.
And you know what's funny is I'm just so used to it, I never even thought about that because I'm like, wait, yeah, he does it every time.
Juice came off. Juice came off.
First flight.
I was scared. During the turbulence, I almost died, bro, for sure.
What's up, John?
Back at it like a crack addict, let's go. So what we're gonna do is a nice clean taper, keeping the hooks, keep very, very dark on the outline, making it real blurry, and I'll probably throw in a design somewhere in the back right here. Today, what I'm gonna be using is these Gamma boosted trimmers. These right here have the most torque out of any trimmer in the whole industry. You're able to make sharp lines, you're able to debulk. So for me, being on stage, I don't want a lot of stuff. I don't want to have, like at our barber stations, right, where we have 3,000 tools, only use 2, right? I'm only going to use 2. The Metal Instincts and these boosted trimmers. With this, you're going to see me line up, do designs, and debulk. And by the way, I just cracked these right now from the box. So these are not specially, made blades. They're not zero gap. Like these are straight out the box. In my opinion, you should be able to use your tools straight out of the box. I know sometimes you want to make them sharper and do this and do that, but at that point, you're just going to compromise the integrity. So if I could give anyone a little tip for your trimmers, when you first buy a trimmer, turn it on and let it run for about 10-20 minutes. What that's going to do is those blades are going to run and they're going to warp each other so they're actually like broken in. Because sometimes you're like, it's not hitting. And then what? 2 months later, you randomly pick it up, you start using it, you're like, when did this start hitting? It's because over time it started to kind of warp itself out, right? So, quick little tip.
Hey, that's a good advice right there because it's happened to me before, and I'm like, man, this ain't hitting. And then like 2 days, 3 days later, they start hitting fast. I'm like, yo, what's going on? Somebody touched my clippers?
So right now I'm going to be using the Metal Instincts. I'm just kind of taking off a little bit of bulk, starting my taper here. Taylor and I are an open book right here. This is probably the best place where you could be right now because at our disposal, whatever you need, we got.
A lot of people pay tens of thousands of dollars for mentorship. I personally have. So to be able to get access from someone who you might want anything from, take full advantage of it, guys. Talk to all the educators, talk to everyone around you, network, get each other's Instagrams, because you never know where that's gonna lead you. You might do a show and because his character was cool, boom, now you're that guy, you know what I mean? Like, that's all it takes is just keep networking, keep being a good person, and put some hair on the floor. Everyone wants to talk about all this business stuff. Put hair on the floor. You just gotta get your hands in hair. That's the only way you're gonna make some money, right? We're in it for profit. Don't depend on anything else. If you want to get something, get somebody in the chair, cut their hair, make some money, rinse and repeat. I'll never forget, bro, in San Antonio, we were walking down the river walk, and we met a couple who was speaking French, and out of nowhere, you're just, vous êtes what? I was like, a full-on conversation. I was like, okay, you're just gonna not tell me that you just speak French fluently? Like, can you imagine that? You're just walking down the street with your boy and all of a sudden, a new language out of nowhere. What would you do? I'd be like, okay, where's the membership for Rosetta? Like, what's good? Now I know what you're doing on Tuesday nights, skipping bingo and shit. I kind of go interchangeably when I'm like, fading. For the most part, I'll use a comb as long as it has fine teeth on it. And then afterward, at some point, I will take the brush to kind of see, all right, where am I at? Where is there, maybe little clumps of hair that were stuck or something like that. But for the most part, I'll use the comb for like 60% of it, and then the last 40% going with a brush. The time when I start doing all my lever work, that's when I'll get my brush out. Before that, comb's fine, because at that point, it's like the rough draft of what you're doing anyway. So generally when I'm doing a taper, so I have my first guideline right here. So you notice how I kind of made it like a little moon shape, right? That's so I can keep this little edge right here dark, and then the lineup a little bit darker. So I'm pretty much gonna be fading out into here. So now I'm gonna take my 0 guard, or a half guard, all the way close. Start taking out some bulk in here. Then I'm gonna go ahead and open it up all the way. Again, this is still my half guard. Now generally, I would say to not cut in front of him like this, but for the sake of you guys being able to see, I'm kind of like changing my angles. Of course, you always wanna make sure that your posture's good. You always wanna make sure that you're cutting in a way where you can do it for a long time. Generally, if you're cutting hair, you want to have the subject in front of you, right? You want to try and keep your elbows down. This is little stuff that they don't really tell you anymore, but it's things that we should probably be working on. We're only getting older, not younger. Make sure you're tilting the head. Make sure you have a good angle on what you're doing. Make sure you can see what you're working on. A lot of times, the simple fact of the head just being like this and you looking over it, you're not able to see the dark spots underneath that fade. Because a fade is essentially like, if you're thinking about long hair, just like layers. It's just a lot shorter. It's almost like micro hairs, right? So you got to think bald, looks like stubble, then it starts growing from there. So it's essentially like layers. So you're just doing it in a very small section. So details matter very, very much. So because of his haircut, wanted to keep it dark, I'm gonna go ahead and put my C cup in right here. So a little tip, if I can see right here, he doesn't have any hair that grows in this spot, that could be a place where I use that for my C cup. Because if I try to line up just underneath it, after I fade this out, you're gonna see that light spot most likely. So if I can, I'm gonna try and fade this out. And then if I can't fade that out, then that lineup will take care of it right there. But you can kind of already see where his hair wants to arc. And if you ever need to check where his natural hairline is, you can always just brush the hair back and look at where the hair is growing from. So where the hair is growing from and where the hair is falling are two different things. Make sure you know that. Where the hair is growing versus where the hair is falling. You can cut where the hair is falling. Don't cut where the hair is growing. That's when you're starting to push someone back. Enhancements too. I feel like since I got introduced, oh man, haircuts just actually just stopped getting good.
They stopped getting good?
They just stopped, yeah. Like I feel like I just saw more straight lines and less like actual like good haircuts. Because if you do it right, you should be able to fade into the hair that's there. Like that's the whole point of being a good barber is knowing head shapes, knowing reference points, knowing density, knowing all those little things. Not just can you blend me out, can you line me up, can you spray some paint? It ain't about that. That might get through, a couple people, but I mean, in the end, people are gonna fish that stuff out. There's a time and a place for everything. I know, like, if I got a client, he's about to get married tomorrow, and he's like, hey, bro, like, I want to look a little more full, yada yada. All right, cool. We know that. We go into it knowing it. It's not one of those things where it's like every week, every 2 weeks, it's the exact same thing with, the enhancements. Because again, for me, I pride myself the most on my hair grow out. Most of my clients, they come to me every 3-4 weeks.
because the haircut lasts that long. If you do a good job, it will last that long. So at that point, you really shouldn't need anything. If anything, it's almost like it's disrespecting true art. A haircut to me isn't in the moment. A haircut to me is what happens in the next 3 weeks of that. That grow out, I'm telling you, that will get you more clients coming to you more than enhancements. Because again, anybody can use a gun, right? Anybody can use some little chalk and a little paint. Who actually knows how to cut hair enough to make it last 3-4 weeks and look good the whole time. When my clients come back, and I take pictures of people all the time, like when they come back, because they'll be in the chair and people will be like, wait, you're getting a cut? It looks like you just got a cut. You know how good that makes me feel as a barber and how good they feel hearing that? They're like, nah, I'm actually on my way to get a haircut. That's crazy. But again, if you do it right, if you take your time, if you actually layer it with the right tools, you'll have such a graceful grow out that haircut, the 3-week process, because the haircut, again, isn't in the moment. It's not that half hour there in the chair. A haircut is, it starts when they get in the chair, and once they leave, that's when it continues. What's it gonna look like in a week? If you're gonna use enhancements, do it in a way where it's not jeopardizing your integrity. Be honest. Tell the client what you're using. Set the expectations. Because if you set, hey, this is probably gonna come out in like 2-3 hours, you know what I'm saying? At that point, they're gonna know, all right, cool, I got you 3 hours. They know that. But if you tell them, oh yeah, it's gonna last a week, bro, and then they go and hoop and all of a sudden they're looking like Sting, you know what I mean? Like, they're gonna be pissed. So you think that they're gonna trust you? Not really. So one thing I would always advise, when you're cutting hair, make sure you're using your reference, like helping guys. Make sure you're using a mirror. Make sure you got good lighting, all those little things, because your eyes will play tricks on you.
And we don't even have a mirror.
Nah, that's the crazy part. With lighting like this and no mirror, haircuts are wild up here. Sometimes you just roll the dice. You're like, I hope it comes out good. We're just playing, bro. You know it's gonna be fire. I'll do shit with my eyes closed, literally. Now, so generally when I'm cutting hair, unless it's a very specific guard, I only use 1, 2, 3, 4 guards. I got my half guard, I got my 1 guard, my 1.5, and my 2. That's all I'm using. And for most haircuts, that's all I actually use. Unless it's very specific where he wanted a 3 up top. All right, then at that point, I'm gonna go ahead and get my double magnetic, throw the 3 on, and cut the hair. Very rarely do I actually use other guards, again, unless it's like a buzz cut. But for me, I like to use my shears quite a bit and clip it over comb. Saves me time. I'm able to get the cut equally as fresh without having to just put on a bunch of guards. Oh, mira quien llegó, el más duro Victorino. When I'm with you, bro, I gotta try a little bit harder. I used to always just wear sweatpants and shit, and then I started working with Victorino, and I'm like, all right, I gotta be somewhat presentable nowadays. So I think I'm on year 3 or 4 now of trying to dress decent. Let's say he's in sales, and if you're giving him a super high fade, okay, that might not be it. Something a little more professional. You as the barber need to go ahead and make that call. Hey bro, since you're in sales, I suggest we maybe drop your fade down a little bit more, leave a little more contrast, maybe do X, Y, and Z, makes you a little more professional. You need to be the professional. Again, they're coming to you for a reason. If you weren't their preferred person, they'd cut their own hair. When I'm also doing a lineup, easiest thing you could do is just tell them, turn your head this way, now look down. Now look, I have his whole entire lineup right here. And I'm not having to do some awkward shit. It's literally just cool. Because it's more important for you to be comfortable because you're gonna be the one cutting for 8 hours. He's gonna be in the chair for 30 minutes to an hour. Make him suffer for a little bit for a better haircut, better experience. Again, think longevity for your career. Oh, craziest haircut request. Not necessarily haircut request, but I'd say the craziest one that I feel like I've tried to do a panther, or like a panther on someone's head, like a portrait panther. That shit was so hard. I'm not the portrait guy. No. I will do your taxes. I will help you with your branding, but I will not do a portrait of a fucking panther. That's for damn sure. That ain't my lane. Honestly, it kind of came out a little bunk, in my opinion. You know when the model has really the rolls in the back, like the hot dogs? That was the person. In the haircut, you couldn't see the panther's nose. So it looks legit, but you have to pull the skin up to see the nose. And once you let go and it's normal, it looks like he has no nose, so it looks hella weird. So
I'm gonna go ahead and say that one. My designs and freestyles, I kind of just look and I see, all right, where in the head can I use something to my advantage? You can't just start putting a dope ass design on it. If it's not in the right head placement, it's not gonna flow. So it doesn't matter how clean the lines are, how good the fade is. If it's not placed right, it's gonna look awkward because it's not in the right, section, right? So I'll kind of try and see like, all right, is there something I can see? I'll kind of like mess around a little bit. Again, if he has little scars or like alopecia, things like that, I'm gonna use that to my advantage. So if he had a bald spot right there, chances are I'm gonna do something to incorporate that in some way. To make the hair grow out really good is you wanna get those little hairs that are underneath that are like dark. Those little clumps that you see, because sometimes a hair follicle might have 2 or 3 hairs coming out of it. Sometimes it's gonna have none, it's just gonna be a little bald spot, right? So your job is, you're literally an artist, right? So you're trying to figure out, okay, out of this whole plane right here that I'm fading, you see all these little dark spots, all these little light spots. How can I, with my clippers, blend it in to make it look light to dark? Because sometimes you're gonna be fading on this side with your clipper, but then over here it's gonna be only one, and you're like, I can't really cut that. If I cut that, it's gonna look too bald, yada yada. You might have to use a shear, or you might have to turn your clipper over, and just to get one hair follicle. So you really gotta think about from light to dark. For me, if there's ever any lightness where it's dark, that does not follow my rules. My rules when cutting hair, 3 non-negotiables. Has to have shape, balance, and contrast. Contrast being your fade, balance being everything is actually cut and symmetrical, and then the shape, which is your silhouette. If you don't have a good silhouette, it doesn't matter how good your haircut is. You can have the freshest fade in the world, but if it's not hitting the head shape in the right spot, you're gonna be like, damn, that's a good fade, but it just doesn't look good. The haircut's not, it's just not it. Then there's times where you're like, damn, that's a nice haircut. It can be super simple, simply because it has good shape. So again, my 3 non-negotiables, shape, balance, contrast. As long as you can focus on those 3 things when you're cutting hair, you'll always have a good haircut. Think about this too, Taylor said it earlier, it's not what you cut, it's what you leave on. Most people think a haircut is how much hair can I put on the floor, when in reality, you kind of need some of that hair. Most hair, people are cutting because they're just barbers, they're just going through the motions, getting a lot of hair on the floor, right? You're cutting too much off most likely. Seeing where his head shape is at, there's a reason why I didn't start tapering it out, because what if you need some hair right here and you already tapered them for the design? Now you just shot yourself in the foot. So most times, I'll do my design first. Who else does that? Who does their designs first versus the fade? You do that? Everyone else do the fade, then the design? Try it out, experiment, see what it does. Most times when I'm doing designs, I'll go in it with a razor, so you don't have to make a line super, super thick in the beginning, because if you're always gonna go and clean it up, you're gonna make it wider in the end anyway, right? Start off with just little kind of rough drafts, and don't etch into the skin, because again, if you gotta make a little edit, again, if it's not into the skin, you can pivot. Oh, okay, I can move that line up a little bit more this way now because I didn't go into the skin. The moment you start going crazy into the skin, you're permanent. You have to stick with that. I had the corner of my blade and I use it as a pendulum. So you see that right there? You see if I just let my hands loose a little bit, look what happens? That is called a pendulum. That is how I do a lot of my designs, so I know I can keep a consistent design, a consistent line, a nice little flow. If you're always wondering like how you can get lines so consistent, you just let the clippers and gravity do its job, man. Get this design I'm doing right now. Like Taylor, I do the same thing where with my designs, I don't use any crazy gels, I don't use any crazy lotions, potions, nothing like that. I use water. So what I do is I'll spray water. I don't know if he does this, I don't know if he mentioned it, but after I spray water, I'll take a fine-tooth comb and kind of brush down to the design so I can really see what I'm working on. A clean canvas is everything. If I can't see what I'm doing, if I can't have my mind map there, at that point, I'm gonna start working sloppy. When you start having your guidelines kind of looking a little janky, that's how your haircut starts. Because how you do anything is how you do everything. You gotta have clean guidelines. You gotta have clean lines, a clean atmosphere. You gotta be clean. You wanna make sure that it has good flow. So you wanna make sure that you're using the right part of his head so it looks good. Again, it doesn't matter how good you execute it. If it's not done and placed in the right spot, it's not gonna look good. That's why shape, balance, contrast, all of those things, that goes in with the flow. Just do simple things very, very well and you will go far. Just do very, 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 very exceptional in simplicity. So with designs, to make sure you don't cut the client, pull the skin back a little bit. When I'm doing anything on a curve, look at this little curved line right here. Everyone see this line? When I move this line this way, look what happens. It becomes a straight line. When people are like, how do you get like curves so sharp? You just gotta manipulate the head. Start pulling the skin to make it straight every time you need it straight. Sometimes I don't want it to all be like the exact same width. I think it's cool if you can kind of add a little spice to it, make some a little bit thicker, some a little bit thinner, just let it flow. Again, the cool thing about designs and haircuts is there's no right or wrong answer. You just go out, have some fun, and create what you think looks good. Because it's really the perception of what's behind your eyes. What do you see? If you think it's cool, if you feel good doing it, don't worry about anybody else. If your client likes it, awesome. You got paid, even better. You just got paid to do something that you love to do. That's a blessing. That's a big blessing right there.
ET, who's your role model? Who you
My dad. My dad. My dad.
Your dad?
My dad.
He's a barber?
Nope, he's just a great role model. Everything that he's taught me essentially bleeds into everything else in my life. So I'm pretty confident in anything that I do, as long as I just focus, try, put in some good work. Everything's gonna take time. So repetitions and experience, that's really all we can ask for. I know one thing, no one starts good. Everyone sucks when they begin anything. If you wanna learn anything, you're gonna have to suck in the beginning, and that's okay. Get over that phase to start actually getting good. Give out some free haircuts. Mess up, fail forward. If you fell backward, that's on you. You need to make sure that you fell forward. You need to make sure that you're one step closer into doing what you want to do. But it takes you trying to even get there. So you gotta have a target, you gotta have a vision, you gotta try. But most people nowadays, they kind of want to just wish it, write it on their mirror, maybe put it in a journal and expect it to just pop out of nowhere. Nah, like that's part of it, but you gotta also, you gotta serve. You got to be able to give, because if you're not giving, then you won't be getting. Hand out as much free game as you possibly can. You never know what it'll do for you in return. Karma's real. Beginning, I feel like for the first 90% of me cutting the design, it just looks like, what the fuck are you gonna do? Like, how is that gonna look good? And then that last little 10%, you're like, oh shit, I see what you're doing there. Okay, that's coming together. That's how I feel with my haircuts too. It's like, you're setting up, it's kind of the rough draft, and you're like, yeah, okay. But then you put on that one little half guard, all of a sudden, blurry McLens, baby, you feel so good. You're like, yo, peep it, showing off extra and shit. You're like, let me just make sure, does that look good to you, bro? What do you think? Is that blurry enough?
Yeah, let's see how you do under pressure. Yeah, I've been wanting this forever. I've been in the field with whatever they throw at me. Brush it off, pick myself up, moving on to the better. Hey. Ain't no errors, baby, it's a new era. I wake up early, feeling rich like I'm Kesha. I get to the paper, boy. Extra.
First cut is done. What do you think, dog?
Bro, it looks enhanced, bro. It looks enhanced.
That's the whole point. It's reverse psychology. I used a bunch of fibers. I used a bunch of dyes. He can't take a shower. He won't be able to do nothing. I'm sorry, I tricked y'all. This is the most enhanced haircut in the world. My name is Eric Talento. I go by ET.TheBarber. I appreciate you guys. Appreciate you, AJ. As always, bro.
Fucking killed it, brother, like always.
Feeling nice and energetic. First haircut done. Got the little first show jitters out of the way, even though it wasn't that bad, but good crowd, good interaction, some good retention. Had some people stay for the whole entire hour and a half. I did a good design. That was fun. I feel like I got to explain a lot of little things that people don't understand. So overall haircut 1, success. On again at 6:30. So until then, we network. People catching up. All right, we are back. The very last haircuts here on Stylecraft and Gamma's platform. My name is Eric Talento. I go by ET.TheBarber. I'm here with the amazing Danny. What was originally in the design was basically this right here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add some stuff right here. I'm gonna fade a little bit out there. Just kind of have some fun, switch it up a little bit so it's not just a simple design. With an exposed blade, it's more precision. I'm just picking away one hair at a time, knowing that it's sharp enough for me to actually get it. If it's shorter hair, it's a little easier to not use an exposed blade, but with a little bit longer hair, exposed is better. When I first started doing designs, I actually hated them. I didn't want to do anything. I was scared to do them. I always lied to my clients and I would tell them, oh, it's not going to look good. It's going to mess your haircut up. Not because it actually was, but I was just scared to do that because I didn't know where to go with it. I didn't know if I was going to make this line too thick, this one too thin, no symmetry. It was scary. What I learned from that is those little imperfections, those failures is what makes you actually more creative, because now you can turn a mess up into art. So let's just say I randomly like throw a line in right there. Okay, it could be a mess up, or you can look at how you can make it a design. Maybe you can have some fading, maybe you can do some squigglies. It took me going to a class and really seeing someone do designs and made me want to say like, okay, I'm gonna give it another try. And fast forward to now, I don't charge anything extra for designs in the barbershop. I don't charge anything extra whatsoever. If someone wants a design, all day I'm gonna do it. And I don't care how long it's gonna take me. If they let me get creative, then it's on. I believe that every single haircut and freestyle should be one of one. Like if you're doing something cookie cutter, like again, it can be cool, but what's original about that? I pride myself in only doing one-on-one designs. Like I've never done this design, you'll never see me do this design ever again. I might take a snippet of it, but it's never gonna be ever the same. So I can tell you right now, when I go home, take a picture of this, I'm gonna be like, ooh, I really liked this right here. So I might do this and like a hook right here, or I might do it with it just being that part right there, excluding all of that. You never know. At the end of the day, just keep practicing, keep putting lines in, and just get practice. You think that it looks easy because they do it so fast and confident, but the reality is they had to mess up so much to get to that point of knowing boom, with no hesitation. So when I do designs, even my haircuts, I've done so many haircuts that I trust my tools, I trust my system, I can do it and not really blink an eye. Again, muscle memory is already there. So at that point, I can spend more time and energy on building my clientele up a little bit more. Personal development, maybe it's spending time with my family, or maybe it's actually conversating with the client. Whatever it is, you pick where you're gonna feed into that energy. So again, the more you can systemize your haircut process, the easier it's gonna be behind the chair. With that being said, you still have to remember that every single haircut is gonna be unique in its own because of his head shape, his hair texture. Every little thing is gonna matter. So you can't treat his hair the same just like you would treat his. I constantly am using my little blow dryer. I'm constantly using my little air vacuum, a little brush, whatever it is, to make sure the client is free of hair. When I see this, I can actually work with a clear mind. I don't see a bunch of hair, it's not cluttered. Those little things make the bigger picture of a clean haircut. Because again, when you go to post this on Instagram, if he has hair all over his ears and hair all over there, and he's not tidied up, you're gonna miss the boat with someone. When I go on Instagram and I see people posting pictures, it's amazing that you're posting, but if I see hair, like neck hair or like hair right here, I'm like that's you're putting that out there, like that's your best work? That's sloppy, that's unprofessional. What you put out there is what you're gonna attract. Or if you put out some stuff that's like average, you're gonna attract average clients. Now let's say you wanna cut some high-end people, some CEOs, whatever the case may be, you better make sure you come correct. You better make sure that everything that you post is nice, clean, and clear. My goal for this is to keep the edges dark. If I go into it from the bottom and scoop all the way out, I'm gonna get rid of that hair, which is gonna take away that darkness. So what you wanna try and do is think of this coming to a point like an arrow. So I'm gonna only fade pretty much in here. I'm fading from here to here. Never going, because if I take away this little hair right here, it's only one hair. That hair being gone, you lose your color. Yandi, this is fire, bro. Extra exposed? It's a wrap. We're pretty much cousins now. Primos hermanos. Overall, great. A little tired, but that's what happens when you exert a lot of energy trying to get out as much information as possible while cutting hair. Because I think people forget about that. At the end of the day, I'm still cutting hair, so it's still work on top of having to entertain and educate. So overall, I feel great. I feel like as the years go on and every show piles up on the last one, I'm a little bit more prepared. I have a little bit better confidence when I'm on stage, and I feel like I can work the crowd. So overall, success, especially with John directing everything. So if you want to learn how to get on stage, get comfortable with public speaking and get comfortable with putting yourself out there. Start with going on Instagram Live. Start with going on your social media and putting out videos, because if you can't even put out a video on your Instagram in your home or in your space, how do you expect to cut hair on stage in front of people when you're on the spot? So any advice, basically the best advice I could give to someone is to record yourself, speak in front of people, get uncomfortable, and then actually show up to these shows to network. Because a lot of people want to be on stage, but they don't know who to talk to. So it's important to be able to put a face to a name, so when you're tagging them or spamming them online, they're able to actually put, a name to a face and say, oh, this person would be a good fit, let's reach out to them. So really be in attendance of these hair shows and put yourself out there online. Hold up. Oh, I'm gonna go have him play Fisher. All right, so the move is we're gonna go back to the room, drop off my stuff, maybe change, and then see about going either to Fremont or to the Strip, get some food, have a good night, and celebrate today's success.
Te extraño y así mi vidita, yo te lo juro que te amo tanto.
That was not me, man.
Todos mis deseos en cuestión y hace sentirme hoy caminando de la mano. Eres mi razón de ser.
And then he kind of like got in, and then like when he got in. Hey,
I really remember my fucking.
and then John was like, "Yeah, man, I've never heard anyone talk so much before they go to bed." That's funny because then everyone we're like all sleepy, right? Everyone just started fucking hella laughing because I never even thought about it.
I can picture you saying that.
John sleeps like that. Like this.
Never tried someone.
John sleeps like this with the gun. Eyes open.
Hey, bro, I'm surprised he wasn't. Hey, are you gay? De que nomás terminamos aquí ya nos vamos. I know.
What happened? Oh, like no way you fucking did that. Oh, who did it? You or him? What did you do?
No, he just fucking opened it like if he didn't need a cap opener like that.
With the cap, Chris goes, "Hey, can somebody open it so I can just chug it?" Sergio just goes real soft, pink. But I was looking at Javi the whole time. He goes.
I thought it was for real, bro. I thought
He was like,
what the? I never seen those.
Mind
Like,
blowing?
yeah, bro.
but watching that shit, oh my gosh.
Holy fucking shit, is that C blends?
Hey, look, we're in France. Why? I don't get it. Why?
It's just like like I'm in the city, you know. When you're in the city, you gotta do city shit. What does that mean? You know, you creep and you crawl.
It means I'm in the city for real, for real.
That I was Wolverine, and I was like, no, buddy, you got it wrong. I'm two cuts. That shit is nasty. Good morning, John. It's 1 a.m. I won. Aquí estamos valiendo verga. Yo no. Tú sí. Tu carnera, sí, para. No me grabes, ¿eh?